So for anyone listening in the future, our first episode launched today. After doing this for like almost 2 months. We're only...
I'm mixing in real time. Oh, wait, I'm turning down me. I need to label these fucking things.
Oh, no. Have we gone viral yet? I haven't actually checked this today. How many downloads?
You can see the stats.
19 downloads.
What the fuck?
Yeah, damn. Wait, who's that? We don't know 19 people.
We don't know 19 people. Oh my god, have we gone viral?
Oh my god. We're famous.
Listen.
Oh no, I see how it works. We had 9 within the first hour, which
Yeah.
I suppose is probably like... Yeah, like that makes sense.
That's when we were
And then
like
we had a couple
chilling
throughout
out.
the day, so...
That's good.
People, yeah.
I 100% either believe it is because of the social media thing that we were pushing, or it's because of the logo that people said. I purposefully...
The logo's so good.
Yeah, the logo's really good. Thank you, Garen.
Yeah, thank you,
We bought
Garen.
him some Blu-rays because we love him so much.
We did, because he does all our graphics and refuses to let us pay him, so we just pay him with Blu-rays.
We pay him with Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Which is a very good gift.
Yeah, because he collects Blu-rays. And it's for our other podcast that we're going to be
Yeah,
recording
it
in 2
actually
days.
ties in.
Yeah.
We can't even give like normal gifts anymore. It has to tie into like
This
future
is our
projects.
life now.
Yeah. I can still kind of hear the works.
Fucking my neighbours, who are nice people, and they're retired. They have had all day to do work,
and they did
are
it
now.
They did it during our podcasting
Minutes
session.
when we started, they're grinding stone or something. Like there's smoke outside my window.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Maybe
It's not. Well, when we're talking over it, it'd be fine, isn't it?
Yeah, when we actually talk about
And
it.
I'm sure I can like edit it out in post.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Sherlock. BBC's Sherlock.
BBC's Sherlock.
BBC's Sherlock.
Dun 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 dun
Da,
dun
da, da.
dun
Da, 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 da. Ba-da, ba, 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 ba-da, ba-da.
That's a banger.
It is.
That's better than the main theme. I know it's kind of derivative of the main theme, but like on its like
I don't
fucky
know.
little strings.
I know it's kind of cringe to say because Sherlock's not cool, but whenever I saw the opening, gives me chills.
Honestly.
I love the opening.
What is your relationship with BBC's Sherlock?
Well, actually, I want to throw this back to you. What is your relationship with Sherlock Holmes, the character?
Oh, Sherlock Holmes, the character. So,
Is this the first time we've done something based on a pre-existing character?
actually, it might be.
Because what have we done?
Supernatural, the books came out like coincided, and that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Who wasn't technically because
Glee was an original
Glee
property.
was an original property. Supernatural, Simpsons was
All
another
original
hit.
stuff. And now
Breaking Bad, yeah.
so this is like our first like adaptation of something. So this
Yeah.
is like it's like stepping in some new water for
And
us.
it's like, who doesn't have a general relationship with Sherlock Holmes?
No, he's like an icon.
Yeah, he's like one of the
British icon.
Good British
God
icon.
bless the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Long live the king.
The Queen loved Sherlock Holmes. God rest her soul.
Yeah, I know. Got killed by Paddington.
Oh yeah, took her out. He needs to get to the king as well. I can't say that.
Oh my god. If I was Stephen Moffat and was more of a hack than he was, no, okay. I'll contextualize this. If I would write the Sherlock Holmes solves the Queen's murder.
The Queen's murder. It was
Yeah.
the ghost of Diana.
It was the ghost of Diana.
You know this.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
She came back. She was dead the entire time, but she planned this so far ahead. Like
She
she
did.
knew every step
she's
that would
like
happen.
Jigsaw,
Yeah.
where he planned Saw 7 even though he died in Saw 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Did Moffat take inspiration from the Saw franchise in terms of they just kept retconning it? Where they were just like, actually, he
Honestly,
fucking knew
though,
what was going
thing
on
is-
the entire time.
Thing is, you're kind of cooking because the editing is very like Saw.
It is. It is. No, you're right. Oh, there's a lot to talk about.
We're gonna get
this.
into this.
We
So-
have genuinely been struggling not to talk about this for like ages.
Yeah.
Because like this is the first time I have watched an episode not the night before.
Yeah. And Sherlock, I mean, speaking of like Sherlock, obviously the novels, I read like some of them growing up. We've all seen like old adaptations of them. Everyone in passing knows about Sherlock Holmes.
Do you remember like any like really early adaptations that you watched as like say a child?
I remember some cartoon ones.
I know a specific
remember
one I loved.
I remember one of him like an adaptation. I don't know if it was called Sherlock Holmes, but like he was an animal, like of some
Yeah.
kind, and he was like he was wearing the traditional like
Yeah.
cat a hat and jacket.
The Great Mouse Detective.
The Great Mouse Detective.
The Great Mouse Detective
Thank
is
you.
so good.
Yes, because that is like actually based on Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
It's not.
Unlike BBC Sherlock, which is just
God,
it's fan fiction.
barely as well. It's
I
like,
know.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. But yeah, I've an appreciation for Sherlock. I grew up with Scooby Doo. I fucking love Scooby Doo.
You love crime solving.
Yeah, because like I like escape rooms. We've done those puzzle boxes things.
Yeah.
I genuinely love mysteries.
Yeah.
So I wanted
You
to.
owned at least.
I owned quite a few Sherlock books.
Have you ever read any of the books?
Yes.
Do you remember which ones?
I read Hounds of Baskerville. Which
is like probably like the most
famous one.
Yeah.
I've read The Power of Three. No, The Power of Four. It's Power of Three in the Sherlock episode.
That's the problem with the show.
Yeah.
It's like erased like the actual ones in our minds.
So I've read
now.
The Power of Four. I've read The Reichenbach Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But you haven't actually read like A Study in Scarlet.
no,
Which is
I
what
was
the pilot's based
going
on.
to, but I actually was like, I know enough about A Study in Scarlet that I can talk about the changes.
Yeah.
But
I've got some notes about
frankly-
the changes when we get to that point.
Yeah.
So
Frankly, I've not had time to
Yeah, I
read
know.
another book this
this has
with
been
this.
like one of our busiest weeks ever.
Yeah. So for our other podcast,
And
I
it was
had
a-
to read a 700-page book.
Yeah.
So I couldn't fit it.
And I was just like, oh yeah, we'll watch Sherlock. And then it's just like, oh shit, the original pilot is 1 hour, the remake is 90 minutes, and we have to watch it twice to listen to the commentary to like
yeah,
make
exactly.
sure we were all factually correct.
busy. Podcasting is a full-time job.
It is.
Can we
Please
say?
sponsor us. We need money to
Honestly.
justify this.
Sponsor us, King
Okay.
Charles.
I know. We'll show for the British Empire.
Honestly,
This is a joke. I would never do that.
no, I'm Welsh. I'm not British. I don't consider I don't abide by that lifestyle.
I hope you.
I don't know if we can say that.
Okay, fine.
No, I'll
kidding.
I'll just believe.
I hope you. That'll be really good. But wait, I just want to mention though, we're finally completing the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit of Tumblr.
Super Hulock.
The Super Who lock. We're finding out the lock.
I'm gonna
we went
be,
through Super, we went through Who, in that oh my god, we went in order.
Oh shit, we did.
Yeah, we
that's
didn't
really
even plan
funny.
this.
Yeah. So saying about also the relationship with Sherlock Holmes, so as a character, there's like obviously the books, all the adaptations. I don't remember getting into Sherlock specifically.
Yeah.
I do remember I don't remember like it starting. I remember knowing about it, and then I remember you recommending it.
A BBC Sherlock.
BBC's Sherlock now. And I also remember seeing it on Tumblr. And I remember the first episode I watched was the first episode of series 2.
Oh really?
Yeah, a scandal. What's the
No.
a scandal in Bohemia?
Yes,
but
the Irene Adler one.
yeah, it's not Bohemia, Belgravia. But yeah, it's I don't remember.
We're gonna accidentally conflate the two, like the
Yeah.
actual story with the episode.
The episodes do this
You
thing.
can see where he's going for. It's just like, oh, it's the same, but it's slightly different. But it makes
Yeah.
it so
I
confusing.
actually, I appreciate what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really confusing.
Yeah.
He just, basically, if you don't know, the episodes of BBC's Sherlock are named after stories originally by Arthur Conan
Yeah,
Doyle.
like all of them, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them.
At least,
so
at least in the first two, they kept to it. Who
Yeah.
knows with like season 4?
I think most of them are.
Yeah.
But there might be one or two. Because
It's either that or they're like,
The Sign of Three is in season 3, and
Yeah.
I know the last episode is called The Final Problem, which is also a Sherlock Holmes story.
yeah.
But yes, so I watched that, loved that, which is funny looking back on.
Oh yeah.
and then went back
Did
and
we first watch
rewatched
it
the
together?
rest.
Because I remember seeing.
I think we did because you know my reaction to the resolution of that mystery.
which is absolutely the funniest thing ever. Because I was like quite young when I watched it, and it didn't like hit me as being funny until I watched you, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Before like any of the backlash, like post
Yeah.
season 4, post H Bomber Guy video, or post anything, I just read it as all completely sincere. I was like, wow, that's so cool.
yeah, I think that's so interesting because.
But you still loved it.
I did love it, and I do love it.
Yeah.
I genuinely do think I still like Sherlock, except for season 4.
Yeah.
Not a uncommon opinion.
I am willing to defend quite a lot of it.
Yes.
However, I would even say it started wavering at season 3.
I
honestly.
agree. I think season 3 is. I think it goes pretty much in order. I think
Yeah.
season 1. I haven't rewatched season 2, but based on what I've seen in like my research, I do think that I'm more interested in the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just
when it was
because of change
closer
of
tied to like
preference.
what Sherlock Holmes
Yes.
is.
Did you know Sherlock Holmes,
Sherlock Holmes.
BBC's Sherlock is based on Sherlock Holmes,
Yes.
who was a character by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
The first Sherlock Holmes book was A Study in Scarlet.
It was. Which
So-
is the first episode.
It is.
It's a pretty good place to kick off, to be honest.
Which was published in 1887.
That's pretty old.
Yeah, very old. Older
It, ma-
than
it, ma-
us.
it makes you think like, goddamn, would this still resonate with a modern audience?
Well, that's the thing. Back then, he was a 19th century sleuth. Whereas now,
Yeah.
well, we'll get to it. But yeah, Sherlock. Conan Doyle wrote Sherlock for 40 years, 62 stories. Even
He was quite young when he first
He
started
was,
off.
and then he was old because time passed.
Yeah, he did. And
But
then he
did.
kept doing it. He
I think
fucking resented it.
I think he started in his 20s.
Yeah, he did. Like
Yes.
28 or
Yeah.
something. So we still
And
got
then-
time.
We got time. We can publish
You've
Sherlock.
still got time to write your Sherlock Holmes.
I'm going to write Sherlock.
No pressure.
I'm going to write modern Sherlock.
I'm going to write BBC's Sherlock
Series 5.
Series 5.
Damn
You're going to
right.
write the missing episode.
I am. Oh, we'll get to that. We've got
We've been
lots to
saying
get
that.
to.
I know.
All right, I'll get through the thing is because a lot of it, with the more difficult things actually is with shows we've watched, is we know the background.
Yeah, I know.
So, but
we're bringing so much
your baggage,
Yeah.
secure your baggage.
secure baggage.
Conan Doyle resented Sherlock because he was one of those writers who got stuffed in a box.
Yeah,
He was like, I
can
can't write
imagine.
anything else, so he killed Sherlock off. 10 years later, the outcry was so mad.
He could have just
wrote him
like let it be chill for like, but no, he like killed her, which
Yeah.
I think is like, if you want to stop writing a series and then you end it in that
Yeah.
sort of way, it feels like that would cause like a massive backlash
Yeah.
to it. But obviously, this was like a first of its kind. I feel like
Oh,
I
yeah.
really. There are obviously other characters that have been serialized, but I guess this is like post-industrial revolution, like mass print media sort
Yes,
of.
like very big. This was arguably one of the first fandoms.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than like religion.
Other than Jesus Christ.
But yeah, in terms of everyone sort of consuming what is essentially a piece of media.
Yeah.
And like art. I'm just gonna-
Absolutely.
But yes, so
And then nothing happened in between.
nothing
that.
happens between the year 1927. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Except World War II.
Except World War One.
That was before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was between. We are saying nothing happened
Nothing
in between those dates.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Oh, between then and now.
then and now.
Yeah. So there was between the writing, the starting and ending of the Sherlock Holmes novels, World War One happened. Then between the ending of Sherlock Holmes as a novels and BBC's
BBC
Sherlock,
Sherlock.
there was World War Two.
Yeah.
So Adolf Hitler.
He is directly responsible for this.
We're not talking about Hitler. We're talking about Moffat. Stephen Moffat.
Tread carefully.
I like Moffat.
I know
But
you like
anyway-
Moffat.
Anyway, so
A very controversial figure within any sort of
British television.
both love and despised by many.
Yeah. So,
Like any Doctor Who writer these days,
Exactly.
so it's kind of like
so all roads lead back to Doctor Who because this is the BBC.
absolutely
Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss, both writers for Doctor Who, were going on the train back and forth to Cardiff.
yeah to
To
Cardiff.
Cardiff on Transport for Wales
Yeah.
to like write and produce and make Doctor Who. So
And only they can afford to do it because they have the BBC budget back them. I
Yeah.
cannot afford to go back and forth to
Exactly.
fucking London on the train line. Have you seen those fucking ticket prices?
ridiculous.
I know.
But they were chatting and they were like, "Oh, Mark Gatiss, you write really bad Victorian episodes of Doctor Who." "Oh, Stephen Moffat, you also have an appreciation for Victorian. You wrote the incredible series Jekyll. So, what if we make Sherlock? We both like Victorian, except Victorian's
What
out.
if we ruined Sherlock?
What if we made him a 21st century sleuth?" And thus Sherlock was born
I
because
am being so harsh on this right now.
I am as well. I like lots of aspects, but it just feels so. I mean, realistically, this is us if we had money, sitting on a train being like, you know who should bring back Sherlock? Us.
Absolutely.
That is what we do. Except We don't have money.
That's true.
And
We don't have
us.
the backing of the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I'm not married to Sue Virtue, who's going to produce this show for me with the BBC. I'm not insular with my... I don't want to say inbred, that's incorrect.
Yeah,
Insular
there's been a
family
lot
at the
said
BBC.
about how, like, specifically just like how a lot of the cast in this has been related.
Yeah.
And like it is quite surprising. It does kind of make sense though, just in any sort of industry. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people mingle. So.
Like, who am I to say
However, when
Moffat
it's
was wrong for
Yeah.
working with people he knows when, like, I praise Mike Flanagan for reusing the same cast.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, not
I'm
much
glad you didn't say
difference.
using his wife.
Using his wife.
He used his wife.
He puts his wife through so much.
But yeah, so they had the idea going back and forth on the train.
Yes.
They were both like obviously massive fans of Sherlock. And
Yes.
listening to the commentaries, that is quite evident. They constantly
Yeah.
reference like a ton of different versions, like of the old movies of the which ones? The Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce ones.
Yes.
And I quickly glanced at the beginning of of A Hound of Baskerville with the titles. I didn't actually get around to it. I was very busy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's okay, because we're talking about this adaptation.
Yeah. But they held that quite close to their heart.
Yeah.
And
I think that...
and how it was like set in the modern era of that time, which was like
Yeah.
late 30s.
Yeah, that's
so that
really
was like
good.
a contemporary interpretation,
Yeah.
which they obviously like they found that quite compelling, and they wanted to do their own version of it.
That's one thing I found really interesting in the production of this, is, yeah, of course, they're modernizing Sherlock. But Sherlock is only not modern because 100 years have passed.
Yeah,
At the
literally
time,
the story
Sherlock
is so
was-
it's not like
Yeah.
obviously like set in the past. It was always supposed to be
Yeah.
contemporary.
Sherlock is a modern sleuth.
But whenever you if you've ever seen the Dr. Jekyll show, the Stephen Moffat House, where he attempts modernization,
Yeah.
okay, comparing these is like incredibly unfair. That had like no money,
Yeah.
whereas this has all the money in the universe.
Yeah, well, Sherlock is like...
But I feel as though this is like the transition is quite seamless. There are some parts where with the updating where I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Mainly just like, but it is sort of like one for one, like, oh, people don't write diaries, they have blogs.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't send letters, they send emails.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Doctor. No, Sherlock.
I mean...
Sherlock uses maps. He uses his phone to solve crimes. It's like,
Yeah.
it's believable.
And, like,
a lot of the
modern
time.
day science
To the
as
point
well.
where, like, after the beginning of it, it's just kind of just like, oh yeah, this slips in very naturally. I feel.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
got to give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, when we joke about the whole, like, 21st century sleuth thing, we're not making fun of just the fact that they modernized it. Like, it is natural to modernize a detective story like this. It's more just the marketing of season 1 specifically
Yeah.
was, like, so heavy on, this is modern Sherlock.
This isn't your
21st.
great grandpappy's Sherlock Holmes.
And, like, 21st Century Sleuth was literally on the DVD,
Yeah.
on the things. And I looked into it because I was really interested, actually, because Sherlock is one of those things, like Sherlock Holmes as a character, that has been adapted many times.
Yeah.
It feels, honestly, in a post-BBC Sherlock world, it feels like, yeah, of course modernized Sherlock. But
Yeah, we are taking a little
Yeah.
bit for granted.
I checked, and before BBC's Sherlock, there wasn't really anything like this. There was an animated series called Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, which is obviously Sherlock in the future. But the
Yeah.
more recent adaptations of Sherlock, like
like
the Michael Caine ones and stuff, were still set in Victorian London.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
and it did obviously like influence a ton of adaptations
Yes.
going forward, like Elementary.
Elementary, so CBS Elementary, which is more of a police procedural, but still
is
it's got
kind of-
Sherlock.
which is
this,
kind of it.
This is, but that's more. It's an American one.
Yeah.
like Sherlock is still British as a character.
Does a procedural sort of
Procedural is kind of like episodic with it's weirdly like how Supernatural was. Like it's that style of
Yeah.
American television where yes, there's an overarching baddie, but like you can chuck on an episode of
Whereas this-
Elementary
yeah.
and know what's happening.
whereas this is much more
Yeah, because it's only 3 episodes a season as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they proposed BBC's Sherlock, a modern 21st century sleuth, to to the BBC, and they were given £800,000 from what I can read online.
yeah, that's what it says on my notes as well.
To make the pilot.
From the depths of Wikipedia.
I got mine from The Guardian.
Nice one.
Thank
well,
you.
I mean,
It's the same thing.
Did you click on the link from Wikipedia?
I double check my sources.
That's nice one. You're
just
better
in
than me.
case. So, this is one of the cases in the episodes we watched where we actually have a pilot episode.
Yes.
And then a released episode. So the released episode of BBC's Sherlock, the first episode in series 1, is A Study in Pink.
Yes.
But that is built on the backbone of the script written for the pilot, which was completely filmed, completely edited.
Yeah.
We've got the whole thing.
Yeah,
And
it's
on the DVD. They happily release it and talk about it like quite openly.
But it was kind of funny because when it was completed, there were like rumors that it was just an absolute mess.
Yes, I saw
Which is quite
that.
funny considering like maybe it's just through the people who've seen it. Some people actually prefer the pilot in terms of the writer.
I think there's a really good. I like both versions in different ways.
Yeah.
But I think there is like a fantastic episode in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there are elements that need to be melded together.
Yes. No, I think I agree as well. There's but before we get into the actual pilot, should we talk a little bit about the casting? Because it's like obviously like a massive part of it.
It is a massive part because, I mean, the show won many awards just on its actors.
Yeah.
Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman.
Who was like
wrote them.
Yeah, they had Cumberbatch in mind like straight away.
Yes.
They didn't cast anyone else. He was literally the first person offered the role, and he took it.
Yeah, because they saw him in a movie, didn't they?
Yeah, they saw him in Atonement.
Atonement.
Which I watched the first half hour of. Not because I didn't stop. Not because it was bad. Because I'm busy. I will go and finish it. Which was like kind of funny. I was expecting like a Sherlock like character from that movie. He is not that. He is a nonce.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, bleep that. Well, don't. It's fine.
Nonce isn't a bad word.
I guess
But
so.
also, like, I don't know. I guess if I bleep it, it'll sound worse.
But I guess he does have that look. He does have that very Cumberbatchian look.
I will say, I think on an aesthetic level,
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch might be biased because we grew up with them. Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman do look like what I would picture Holmes and Watson to look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tall and short dynamic. Tall and short is like the pro dynamic of a duo. I mean, we have that going for us.
I know you already know, but I wanted to ask you anyway.
Yes.
Because it's better to do it that way. Do you know who else was up for the role of John Watson?
I do. And I'm glad they didn't go for him.
Yeah, me too.
So Matt Smith, who went on to play the 11th Doctor, auditioned
he was
for
like the
John
first
Watson.
one to audition for him, wasn't he?
I think he would have been better as Sherlock.
I agree as well.
Yeah.
Because you like long-faced boys playing Sherlock.
Well, yeah, like he looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. There's not a massive gap.
No,
between
exactly.
them.
You can sort of see like, not just because of the height difference or anything, but there would have been like sort of a... They look too similar. They would have just been like...
Also, Matt Smith was like really young at the time.
Yeah, he was like 26.
This was before Doctor Who. He's 26 in Doctor Who.
That's crazy.
So this would be like 25.
Yeah, so... But because of the casting for the because he didn't get this role, he did like end up getting the Doctor role.
Yeah, getting the Doctor. So that's really good. But yeah, so we got Benedict Cumberbatch was basically handpicked for Sherlock.
Yeah.
And it took them a while to settle on Martin Freeman.
Yeah, they were struggling to find
a Watson.
Yeah, they went through like quite a few people
because the dynamic is really important.
Yeah,
to be fair.
But they really liked Martin's performance to it. Because he does bring like it back down to earth.
Yeah,
because obviously Cumberbatch is, I wouldn't say he's like a heightened character, but he's definitely a character.
Yeah.
Whereas like
John Watson feels like a normal
he's got to
man.
play he's got to play an every man, but he's got to not be dull as fuck at the same time.
In a weird way, Sherlock is a character, not just in this, but the original stories, in the sense of, don't forget, the original stories are written from John Watson's perspective.
Yeah, which both pilots, they have that element of it. It's all from...
We start with John.
Well, the original pilot, I would say, is more in John's point of view. In the remake, I think there's less of it. There's like more Sherlock.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that, yeah. But yeah, then we've also got other castings. We got Rupert Graves as Lestrade.
I just wanted to say, I've been watching a bunch of Merchant Ivory films. They did like old, not Victorian dramas, but the ones after Victoria. He's in...
Elizabethan?
Yeah. Yes.
I suppose it doesn't really matter. I just kind of wanted to show off.
But he's great in those. So
I quite like Rupert Graves. The other things I've seen him in, he's really good. He was in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I've already stopped from my memory.
I don't blame you. It's a bad episode.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like Rupert Graves, especially in this.
Yeah, he does the nuance really well.
He does the nuance of just like, he obviously like quite likes him, but he needs to keep it as sort of a professional.
He kind of respects what Sherlock does.
Yeah.
But is frustrated by him.
Yeah.
In the same way as the next person on the cast list, Una Stubbs as Mrs. Hudson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I love Mrs. Hudson.
I love Mrs. Hudson so much that I think we're going to get a little bit worked up.
We are absolutely going to go. We're going to be losing our fucking shit at these guys.
Fighting it. It's
like, how fucking dare you?
Honestly, I mean... that's like the main things of the cast, because we don't we get like all the side characters. We don't get any of the other big. We got co-writer and producer of this, Mark Gatiss.
Oh god,
playing in Mycroft. Fantastic Four fame.
Absolutely,
he plays the presenter in Fantastic Four.
The writer of Victory of the Daleks.
He is his best episode. Arguably.
Sure, but yeah, we got some. But those are like the main
players. You got like other side characters like Anderson and Sally Donovan.
Yes, who I have down here. Yes. So we Vanette Robinson.
Yes, I recognized her.
Where do you recognize her from?
Was she in Doctor Who?
Do you know what else she was in?
Primeval.
She
Sorry, I got it wrong.
Best Marvel film in years.
The Marvels?
Yes! She's the one that gets absolutely beaten the shit out of by
it's her!
Yeah, it's her!
Oh, I love her.
I know. I did
speaks wonders that I knew it was the Marvels. Look, I love Kamala Khan. She's a great character.
And
I just remember, look, the Marvels, we know it's a stupid movie with like 3 good bits.
No, it was like,
but one of the best bits.
We love doing this thing where we like pick it's weird to say like a Marvel being an underdog film, but this film obviously looks like fucking garbage.
We pick like the one everyone's like shitting on. We kind of stand them, and like, you know, the all girls movie, which is, you know, getting torn up online and does look quite bad and is like the shortest Marvel movie ever. To see it, like, if you haven't watched the Marvels, to watch this villain character be built up, and she just gets fucking bodied. Like does. The 3 women just wail on her. Like, I could just, I can remember like all of just fucking like whacking her down.
But it was lovely seeing her.
Good for her.
And who was the other?
Anderson. He is is he on my list? Quite far down.
I didn't write
Jonathan Aris.
Oh yeah, he does a good job as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the beard in the remake, which I'm very glad of.
Yeah, it looks a bit scraggly, considering he's a forensic scientist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't picture...
It's very unprofessional.
Yeah, I don't picture a forensic scientist would have a beard like
You've
that.
seen the commentary, though, haven't you?
Yes.
Where they had to get rid of it because they thought...
It looked fake.
They thought he would be the villain because it looked like a fake beard.
Yes, because...
Especially since the way he was acting in it. But yeah, so they got the cost down. They shot the pilot for about 800 grand.
Yes.
And apparently the BBC liked it so much they commissioned 90-minute 3 episodes, correct?
Yeah, cracked. So originally it was meant to be 6 one-hour episodes, and they were like, we want to expand on this. I think that was a bad idea, personally.
Do you think they should have all been just 1-hour episodes?
I think that the go-to rule, most, like 99% of the time, the rule is, if you make something great, cut some stuff out.
Yeah.
Because it really makes you appreciate what is needed, what is necessary.
Yeah.
I've had to do that with my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I've made videos where I'm like, this isn't working, and I've just like trimmed it down to the basics.
You gotta kill your darlings.
You gotta kill your darlings. So I think when they make a pilot, which granted I don't think is perfect, I think
there's some stuff in this that I find very funny.
Yeah. Remaking it is beneficial. But just saying you have to tack on 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
That is a big jump.
Which is like, it's not the pilot isn't perfect by any means.
No.
However, it is a cohesive story.
Yes.
And what it feels like with the remake of the episode, although it is obviously clearly much higher budget.
Yes.
Much slicker. They clearly have the style down by then.
Yeah.
Because it was the last one of the series that they filmed.
Yes, yeah.
So, which makes sense. It's kind of like how people make games.
Yeah, start with the end.
Yeah, exactly. So, come back to it's just like, oh yeah, it's like all here now. But there is just like it just feels like this padding.
Yeah, I think that the problem is I can imagine that they had to refilm the episode. They couldn't just tack in extra scenes.
Yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah, but I don't think they probably did, and this is personal conjecture, I don't think they probably edited the script that much, because from what we can tell, a lot of the scenes, especially early on, play kind of one for one.
Yeah.
And
no,
then it gets
did you
to
watch
the
it
end.
like one after the other like I did?
Not immediately, but close enough. Like
Yeah.
one day, one the next day.
Yeah, that's
and
what
it
I
is
did.
just like you can feel where the episode stops.
Yeah.
And there's a new scene. I'm glad. I don't know what order you watched it. I watched Study in Pink, then the pilot.
I did the opposite.
Did you find, especially watching the pilot first,
Yeah.
that you really noticed the pacing slow down in A Study in Pink?
I wouldn't say the pacing slowed down, but there's a couple of scenes where I'm just thinking, when it goes like slightly off and
Yeah.
it's doing a different thing, I'm just like, okay, but it makes me, I guess, sort of think like, oh, so this is a new scene that they added. What does this bring to the story?
Yeah.
And oftentimes it didn't bring a lot, I felt.
No, because that's
Specifically the stuff with
Minecraft.
Minecraft and
The taxi driver.
yeah.
I've got a lot of strong opinions about the taxi driver that I'm sure we'll get into more in detail, but just touching on the Mycroft stuff, because really it's not that relevant because he's not in the pilot. Well, his name is. We see Sherlock email him.
Yeah.
But they really put a lot of emphasis on building Mycroft up as kind of a red herring. And I actually don't hate that idea as a red herring. And I like the joke at the end where he's your brother. As someone with a brother, I do just like that. I do hate Mark Gatiss saying mummy.
Yeah,
that's
Gross.
unforgivable.
That is pretty disgusting, unforgivable.
But yeah, I do think that could work. It's more just the whole John's looking for a taxi, and the phones are all ringing. Ooh, he can move the cameras. I get that it's building suspense.
Yeah,
but it's like it's too much. You could just have someone there to pick him up.
Obviously, we can look at it with hindsight.
Yeah,
but I could just imagine watching this and be like, yeah, this isn't like Moriarty or whatever, which is what they wanted it to be. They wanted you to feel like, oh, this is going to be Moriarty. But we're getting a bit far into this. Should we just start from the episode then? From the pilot one?
Yeah,
before we get
we
into
go
it,
into the pilot?
Do you like the pilot?
I do like the pilot. Do you like the pilot?
I like elements of it. However, I do feel the obvious budget limitations really hold it back.
Fair. Would you say, just because I want to see where we stand, you prefer A Study in Pink?
It's close, but
I know
maybe...
it's close, but if you had to pick one.
I like the writing more in the first one, I feel.
Yeah.
But honestly, this show is like so heavily built on its like production.
Yes.
Which a lot of people criticize. Our YouTube videos criticizes it. I don't see it as much though, because I quite like. It can go overboard, especially later on.
Yeah.
With this, it's like kind of minimal, like specifically like the investigation scenes or whatever. It's not to the like Hound of Baskerville.
Yeah.
He's like going in his fucking mind palace.
Yeah.
Like multiple effects. He's not doing like the Matrix camera for like a wedding shot yet.
Yes, I agree.
It's pretty minimal, but it does have like, I think it's better directed.
That's fair. I can agree with that. There are things in Study in Pink I think improve in the pilot.
Yeah.
But there's just some things I prefer. I feel like what I kind of like in detective stories, not kind of what I approached this with, is subtlety. And it's fucking hard to get that from Sherlock, but I mean more in the sense of I guess it'll come up with like when we're directly comparing them, but this story is about serial suicides that turn out to be serial murders.
Yeah.
And in A Study in Pink, we see basically like a short montage of people in distress and the police talking and the police holding a press conference and people being like, is this a serial killer?
Yeah.
But in the pilot, it's just like on a newspaper stall in the background that John walks past, like fourth suicide victim found.
Yeah.
Personal preference.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that montage. I know it needed to be there to kind of establish the victims, show you the vibe.
I understand that. At the same time, I think it does help a little bit build tension.
Yeah,
I think it humanizes at least the victims a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe at the cost of say like the pacing of the episode.
Yeah.
Because it was just kind of like, we slow down and we just see that. Whereas like, convenient storytelling is just like, you would just show him walking past it.
Maybe if it was structured slightly differently. I like that we start with John. In both versions, we start with John waking up from war flashbacks.
Yeah, in the pilot, they try and give me actual PTSD.
Do you mean in
Study and Scala?
Yeah, Study and Pink. I agree. I don't think the war footage was needed.
Yeah, no.
I think the implication is way better. But maybe if I was restructuring it, maybe start with the cold open being the murders, because it's a detective show, so that's normal to be like, this is the mystery.
Yeah.
And then after the intro, then start with John, maybe that would have helped me better.
Maybe, but
that's again preference.
It would have felt like 2 starts.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, it's personal preference.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, this is definitely a thing. And to be honest, it's one of those minimal things. But yeah, in terms of other aspects of the pilot, I did really like. I like the investigation scene. We get like that first big investigation scene of Sherlock looking at the woman. He takes John to a murder scene of the 4th or 5th, depending on the version, suicide victim. We see a woman dressed entirely in pink lying on the floor, and Sherlock does his deduction. I actually do quite like the text on the screen.
I like that too.
I think that's a good style of it. Again, a nitpick. My only thing is, I don't even hate the, like, say with the ring, it says like dirty, clean.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. My main thing is I feel like that kind of encapsulates what they can do good, but then they kind of throw out, right, I think I need to establish up front. I think what makes a good mystery story is the audience is able to work it out. Yeah. I think this show starts...
That is a common criticism of this.
Yes.
I don't think it's that bad within this episode. I think it gets awful later on.
Yeah, I agree. I do not think it's that bad in this episode, but I think you can already kind of see the cracks showing in the sense of, I like that it says dirty and clean, but then it flashes up saying like serial adulterer, and it's like, give us a chance to figure that out. But then also on the flip side of that, Sherlock will then just shout pink, and it's like, oh, he's made a mistake, pink, and it's like, you don't really have a chance. You could possibly work out the suitcase, but that's like a very lesser example. But then there's a lot of other stuff, again, especially later in the show, but I think in this episode as well.
Do you think that's improved in A Study in Scarlet, or do you think that's just like a problem that both of the scripts have?
I think that the scripts have the problems in different ways. I like that in A Study in Pink, it manages to show the text and still benefit that. Like, that's what I mean when I say there's a really good episode in between these.
Yeah.
I think having the text and the time of A Study in Pink, but also not giving it all away at first.
Yeah.
But then again, this scene is really interesting. I think it's really well done.
Yeah.
Again, it's nitpicking, but it's more just like, I think you can watch this and see how later in the show it'll go from giving you some clues that you can kind of work out to basically expecting you to do magic.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, that's the thing, because I don't know if I'm like misremembering, but I swear Moffat described Sherlock as like almost a modern day superhero, and like later on it feels like, oh, he's like actually like a god in these things, where he has like, he's not just an intelligent person, which is what a lot of people latch to. He is like a literal superhero and how I think this comes out in the episode is, obviously he can deduce things, but also he gets the very funny Batman shot.
Oh yeah,
do you know the one?
I know exactly the one.
The one where he's on the fucking rooftop and he's got the moon behind me. I fucking cackled. It is the funniest thing in the entire episode.
I can't believe they cut that out of the pilot. I can't believe they didn't put that.
Moffat was just like, oh, they made me cut it out. I really like that shot. It's like, okay, man.
Yeah. Sherlock's kind of like Batman.
He is kind of like Batman.
Like in this interpretation of it.
Yeah, he deduces.
He does.
He runs around.
He chases people down.
He chases taxis.
He does. No, I don't know. We'll get to the taxi thing.
Okay. Is there any other things you prefer about it?
I feel like a lot of the rest of my opinions verge on the plot points as we go through the plot. However, I will say I do like that this is present in both versions, but I noticed more in the pilot.
Yeah.
Sherlock is a very difficult person to like in this interpretation.
Yeah. Wait,
But,
before
yeah,
we do
you
that,
go.
shall I give like a quick synopsis of like the episode?
Yeah, go for it.
Wounded in Afghanistan while in the army, Dr. John Watson returns to contemporary London and through a mutual acquaintance becomes a flatmate at Mrs. Hudson's 221B Baker Street apartment with brilliant, if eccentric, private investigator Sherlock Holmes. He's not a private investigator.
He's a consulting.
He's a consulting...
Who the fuck wrote this?
I know. It was from IMDb.
Ah, fair. Sorry, go on.
There have been 3 identical apparent suicides, and Inspector Lestrade asks for Sherlock intervention over the 4th. The suspicious death of Jennifer Wilson. As she lays down, she wrote Rache
Rache. Rache.
upon the floor, and Sherlock deduces that this is not just the incomplete name of her stillborn daughter, Rachel, of many years earlier, but the password of her mobile phone. This leads Sherlock to confront a terminally ill serial killer who slays people, in part to show superiority over the rest of society, and who is determined to make Sherlock his next victim.
A serial killer who slays?
In slays? But yeah, so we talk about the actual characterization.
Yeah. So Sherlock is characterized as very smart. He's the smartest in the room to a fault. Where he comes across
He's
really
the
racist.
smartest in the universe to
He's
a
the
fault.
smartest in the universe. He's
Everything you thought about.
A little bit autistic, but not like in a realistic sense, more in the sense of his brain's just too big.
Yeah.
For like understanding things, which, you know, I think that interpretation could work. I actually do think like an autistic side of Sherlock would be really interesting, where he is hyper focused in a literal sense, and that kind of comes in with the investigation. Not to like to get too far off course with the characterization, but the whole thing with Rache, or it being Rachel, do you know that in the book it is the other way around?
Yeah,
they think they're writing Rachel, but actually they're writing Rache, which is German for revenge.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's Sherlock who works out that it's Rachel, because Sherlock is meant to be like this grandiose, this really smart person who looks for all these connections.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a good moment for characterization, for Sherlock to be, Rache is German and that. And then maybe John says, what if it's just
That's
Rachel?
what I was going to say, because with this specific kind of characterization, where he's obviously very brilliant, but he's very inconsiderate, he's very mean. What I love with like these specific kind of characters is a lot of time is when they're humbled.
Yes.
It needs to be a very good balancing act, otherwise you just have a cocky twat that you don't want to watch.
Yeah, especially with... Sorry, you finish.
Obviously, like a lot of people like this, so I think it's teetering on the edge. Some people love this interpretation because of it. But what I personally like in this sort of character is if like they are right a lot of the time, but they are constantly humbled. And I feel as though that's what John could have been. Yes,
that's what I was going to say. I really like the character of John Watson.
And I think there are really good scenes of that.
Yes, I like that
if it isn't just him... Okay, sucking his dick.
yeah, essentially.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Wow. And then he's just like,
really? Don't say it out loud. I like it. No, I really like John's characterization. I just think they got too hung up on Sherlock's smartness, when really, you got to think, why is John there?
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's a doctor, but Sherlock can clearly work out most of those things anyway.
I think this show really struggles with that after this episode as well.
I
but
think
this is beyond that.
They could have easily had it where it's like Sherlock does all the galaxy brain thinking.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's something actually kind of simple
that
John works out, and Sherlock thought, well, it can't be that easy.
Yeah.
But it is. It's a different perspective.
Yeah.
They should have had more, not combative perspectives, because that's one aspect I like about John, is he'll call Sherlock out on stuff, but more in the sense of
a different kind of intelligence.
Yes, John's meant to be smart.
Yeah.
And yes, Sherlock's meant to be like galaxy brain intelligence.
He's supposed to be Batman.
Yeah, he's Batman. But like, if John's Robin still does stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He needs to wear spandex as well.
Oh, little Martin Freeman in spandex.
They look like that only falls on horses.
That's really funny.
But yeah, I 100% agree with you with that. And they really struggle with it later on, where they're just like, it is just literally just like everybody's struggling to keep up with Sherlock the entire time. I think the episode does good things with this, like later on, where he his cockiness gets the better of him and it gets him in danger.
Yes.
Specifically, I like how it's done in the pilot.
In the pilot especially.
Yeah.
Because I think that the main difficulty, especially with John, is he's almost written out at the back half of the episode.
Yeah.
In the sense of, yes, he realizes Sherlock's gone with him in both versions.
Yeah.
But I prefer the way it's done in the pilot in the sense of Sherlock confronts the killer, and in the pilot he gets abducted, whereas in A Study in Pink the killer reveals himself willingly and Sherlock willingly goes with him. But I like that in the pilot we get to see John realize, especially with the shopkeeper being like, oh no, this is part of Sherlock's plan, and John realizing no, he's got himself into trouble, rather than and John's in both scenarios John's active, but I just there's something I prefer about the pilot version. Although I do think
it gives him more agency. Obviously, he still goes to the rescue for it. However, it's more clear that Sherlock made a mistake.
Yes.
Where obviously he still does it in A Study in Scarlet, but it's almost like he's choosing to do it, which sort of takes it away.
Yeah. I don't want to be pedantic.
Yeah.
But you keep saying Study in Scarlet.
Oh, shut up.
I know, but I don't want to get I don't want people to get confused. Just in case we do mention the book.
Okay, here you go. Here's me saying A Study in Scarlet. The pilot. There you go. You can splice it.
You still need to stay A Study in Pink.
A Study in Pink. The pilot. Thank you.
Thank you. I probably won't even edit it.
No. Can you do it once? I think it'd be really funny.
Yeah. I'll do it like the one after if you make the mistake again now that conversation's happened. But yeah, I do think Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman have a really good chemistry in a lot of scenes.
That is like the biggest compliment that I have. The scenes together are cute.
Yes. Yeah, I think that the strongest parts of them...
To the point of queer baiting. Joe, what are your thoughts?
We're going to get into that this early on.
I'm going to take a shot every time you say, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, I've said it a lot today. Yeah. I don't know, is this one so hard to structure because it's basically a movie?
Yeah, I know. Okay, sorry, go on.
Right. Yeah, I just really like that aspect of it. So let's talk, seeing as we talked about the taxi driver, let's talk more about the mystery.
So when you say the mystery, do you mean like the deduction scenes and like
the general story of the murders and the deductions and the ending?
Okay.
We've talked about the first deduction scene.
Yeah.
Where we've said about the analysis of, we can actually kind of work things out.
Yeah.
How do you feel that progresses in terms of Sherlock then finding the suitcase, working out that her phone is with the killer, and so on from that?
I think it's pretty fine. Maybe up until the reveal that the thing she was writing was the password to...
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest part.
Sorry, you finished.
I'm
sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
I also think, in a weird way, because obviously this is modern, it still counts as modern, even though it was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I think the password thing's just not aged well, because in what world would Rachel be a password that's like...
Yeah. 2010, man.
Even Moffat was like...
three factor authentication.
Exactly. Even Moffat, though, was like, what is this Me Phone website? You've got to design... Which, to be fair, you've got to design things that aren't copyrighted.
Yeah, it's definitely felt like one of those elements. So it was just like, how do we modernize it?
Maybe if there was just an extra aspect. I don't hate that, Rachel is the password on her phone.
Yeah.
But more just... Maybe... I feel like Rachel being the name of her stillborn daughter is, meant there to be shocking. Maybe have it that Rachel is her daughter.
Yeah.
They can't... Maybe, this might be seen as more steps. I'm just kind of spitballing. Have it so Rachel is her daughter. They contact Rachel. And Rachel's like, I can see her location on my phone.
Yeah.
Because, that's a realistic thing. They... find my phone, kind of if they're basically doing that anyway.
Yeah.
So I maybe just have that and
maybe.
But I don't know. But I'm not saying that's necessarily better. I'm just saying I have a problem with the password thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the mystery itself. I do feel like most pieces we could put together.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the two different reveals? Because the reveals are handled very differently.
Which ones?
In the pilot of the taxi driver, in the pilot compared to A Study in Pink.
So revealing that the taxi
driver is the killer.
the serial killer.
Is the serial killer.
Oh yeah, because like in the pilot it is revealed just I'm trying to remember specifically now.
So they're in the restaurant.
Yeah, they're in the restaurant and
Yeah.
he's looking out for him, and he confronts them through
Yeah.
there. Whereas like it's in A Study in Pink,
Yeah.
he chases it down and then it's like
They don't. I do.
It's
they go for the person who's in the taxi, not the driver.
Yeah.
And they're like, it can't be him.
yeah, so they can prolong everything.
Yeah. It felt like that a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I think the way it handles it, I think this is what I mean, like when I say there's benefits to both. Maybe because I went into it knowing, I remembered that the taxi driver is the killer. There is a lot of mentions of taxis throughout A Study in Pink. I mean, even when they go to the restaurant, the first thing Sherlock does is call a taxi.
Yeah.
Sherlock arrives to 221 Baker Street
So you
in
think
a taxi.
the seeds are just planted enough? Where
Yeah,
it's just like okay.
especially once they have the conversation of, like, an invisible vehicle who can travel without being seen.
Yeah.
And I like how the pilot does that as well. I do think the pilot explicitly tells you earlier, but that's because the killer reveal is a minute later, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But I do like that Sherlock says, who do we trust when we're drunk, when we're out late? Mm-hmm. I think that sentiment's really well handled. And I think you might agree with this, I think that the overall confrontation with the driver is much better in the pilot, of Sherlock trying to outsmart him and go to him drunk and see if he can get him to abduct him.
Yeah.
The driver brushing it off, Sherlock being like, final phone him and be like, I know it's you.
Yeah.
And then,
maybe I think it takes a bit far when he's literally grabbing him by the taxi.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
And it has the
I do quite like how it is handled in A Study in Pink.
Yeah.
With like him sort of being in the shadows there.
That's really well shot.
I
yes.
like how it is shot. It's kind of dumb at the same time,
Yeah.
just because it's just like you're literally there with all the police officers. You could just like lodge just like, oh, that makes no sense. But I do think it's like a cool reveal. It does make more sense logically in the pilot itself.
It's more the sense of he's revealing
It makes
himself.
him more ominous.
Yeah. I think the reveal itself is well done in A Study in Pink. It's more just him showing up.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
I don't know, there's just something about it where it is just like, okay, I get it. He's a serial killer. I appreciate the whole genius wants to be appreciated thing.
Yeah.
He's seeking out Sherlock because he basically wants to show off to him. But it's just the whole, like, it doesn't actually feel like, I know Sherlock works it out just before it happens, but by that point the taxi driver's already there.
Yeah.
It feels like it takes kind of the deduction away from Sherlock in a
That's
weird
true.
way. Especially like
it's like
Yeah.
the final pieces are like arrives because he is there rather than he deduced it. Then he like, I guess that they try to do that, sort of make it more a balanced playing field.
Yeah, which
even though
is
it's even though it's like it's kind of not true still.
Yeah, maybe you could have had it with like, because Sherlock there's this big rush of energy, and Mrs. Hudson's like, your taxi's here, and then like after the third time,
they wanted it to be like quite overwhelming, and then there to be this quiet moment of
so I
the serial
appreciate
killer
that.
coming up, and
I do appreciate that.
but
kind
obviously
of
they streamlined it in the pilot where, actually they did
the other way around.
It's the opposite fact of they added that afterwards. But in the pilot, he gets revealed, he gets kidnapped, and then he's back at Baker Street, and then they do the
game.
They do the game.
Before we get to the game, just a quick note on the differences where they chase down the taxi in A Study in Pink, and they look and they don't see the taxi driver. They assume it's the passenger. They don't even think to check the taxi driver.
Yeah.
Even though that is basically just to prolong the episode, I actually like that idea that even they don't think of the taxi driver.
It plays into the whole idea that they're invisible.
So I think that could have honestly be kept in. It's more just that did feel like, because of the direct comparison, that did feel like we're dragging it out.
Yeah.
But yes, the game or chess. I really like
Mind
the actor.
chess.
Right. We didn't shout him out earlier.
Phil Davis?
Yeah, Phil Davis. I think he is, in both versions of this, fantastic.
Yeah,
in
he's
these
excellent.
scenes. Yeah, the whole mystery. Well, yeah, the mystery of the way of how does he get people to commit suicide?
Yeah.
He gives them the choice of two pills. Now, in the book, in Study in Scarlet, his motivation is different. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of difference. In the show and the book, he has an aneurysm, so he is dying. But in the show, it's more villainous in the sense of he's basically like, I'm outliving people. It's
Yeah.
like almost like he's doing this to feel like
I know
his life's
I know
getting
it's only been a week.
extended.
Did
Yeah.
they add the whole I'm doing this to get money for my children in the Study in Pink?
In Study in Pink, yeah.
So they made him much more selfish in the pilot.
Yes,
And made
actually.
him more monstrous.
Yeah. In a weird way.
And then they tied it to Moriarty.
Yeah. In a weird way, there's like so the three different interpretations are in A Study in Scarlet, the original book, he does it basically for religious reasons. He's still dying, but he's almost saying like, I'm giving God a chance.
Yeah.
God can either kill me or kill this person.
Yeah, that gets kind of references because he's just like, maybe God loves me.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the direct motivation in the book. In the pilot, it is a lot more nefarious, a lot more just straight evil, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Where it is just, I'm outliving these people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that in A Study in Pink, that they do kind of humanize him in the sense of, I've got kids.
I don't know. I think it's kind of
cheap.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's like, I have kids. I'm doing it for the money. It's like, who cares? And then it ties into the Moriarty thing, which is like...
I don't love the Moriarty tie-in.
I really don't like the Moriarty tie-in.
Yeah.
It's just kind of...
It just feels unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, it just Yeah, I just think the Moriarty bits are necessary. But I can accept the whole, like, I'm doing it for my kids thing.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I guess. Anything else you want to say about the mystery?
What? Is there anything else you want to say?
About the mystery?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going to talk about it, so I didn't prepare.
Fair.
I'll be honest, with like these kind of things, I never really focus on, say, the terms of the mystery.
Yeah.
I always focus on like the characterization of
That's
certain
fair. That's
seeds.
fair. Just looking for like kind of different things, which is good in a sense because we can explore different aspects of it. The last point I want to say about the mystery is, how do you feel about the whole ending? Basically, in every version, Sherlock doesn't know whether he was right.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I weirdly think it doesn't get played with because it happens at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And even though we only talk about like the first episodes, I know for a fact that it basically doesn't come up in the future episodes.
I think it's good because it ties into his character that he doesn't truly know everything.
Yes.
And he never will.
Yeah.
And how much it frustrates him.
Yes, and I actually like that in the pilot, Lestrade says to him, like, did he beat you? Like, were you right? And I like that that's kind of like a cheeky little play on it. But I like that he's angry in A Study in Pink. And
he's fuming. He's
he
like
really
stepping
wants
on
to
him.
know. Yeah, he really wants to know if he was right or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for his character. That's the thing. I think this interpretation of Sherlock could really work if, yes, he's really smart, but there are some things he just doesn't know.
Yeah.
And have it that pisses him off, that frustrates him.
Yeah.
You know, you can have basically the same character they've got. Just don't make him God.
I want to carry on talking about the characterization.
Yeah, that's good.
I know we talked about how it was supposed to be kind of a balancing act.
Yes.
But this is, in theory, supposed to be John's episode.
Yes.
How do you feel about his whole character arc within this then? Because it starts off that he is seemingly quite an introverted man.
Yeah.
He's come back from war. He's speaking to his therapist, and he wants to put himself more out there. Then he meets, obviously, an old friend.
Yeah.
Has an awkward conversation. Then he meets her, and Sherlock brings him excitement and such with it. How do you feel about that whole thing?
I like what it sets up in sense of, I like
that he's faking. No, he's not faking.
He's not faking it.
I know.
It's I like that. I like in the sense of he's clearly got
it's psychosomatic.
PTSD, psychosomatic limp, because you've got a therapist. Of course, you've got a therapist.
Of course, you've got a therapist.
Oh, I want to talk about his brother.
I know.
I want to talk about his brother's phone.
I know. It's a meme at this point. The brother's phone.
No, there's another aspect of it.
Okay.
I know what you mean, but yeah, I just feel like it gets kind of dropped a little bit. I think that they set up really well in the sense of having John introverted, even just with the coloration.
Yeah.
In his flat, it looks really dingy. It looks really isolated.
Yeah.
He looks miserable.
That's what I kind of like about. I know the 221B Baker Street is like iconic. The one in A Study in Pink. However, the pilot does sort of introduce sort of a nice contrast where it's like his John's apartment is like very plain. There's
Yes.
hardly anything in it, and Sherlock's is very messy, showing a good contrast between them.
Yes, exactly. And I really appreciate how they introduce elements like with John getting frustrated because Mrs. Hudson says you're the more the sitting down type, whereas he obviously used to not be.
Yeah.
The fact that the second Sherlock is like, you've seen lots of dead bodies. Do you want to see more? Him actually being kind of excited about that. The whole like, oh, Sherlock, you get off on this. Well, I texted you that it would be dangerous, and then you came straight away.
Yeah.
And that aspect of it. Him chasing down the taxi cab and forgetting his cane.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good way to implement the psychosomatic limp.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know, it culminating with John shoots the bad guy to
I
save
don't think it's
Sherlock.
like supposed to be culminating where he shoots the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's more like he saves Sherlock.
He saves Sherlock, yeah.
Yeah. Because like the whole time he's, in a way, Sherlock is supposed to be like saving John, because like
That's interesting.
If you think about it, because
Yeah.
like he's bringing back, he's showing him life once again, and he's able to like return that basically.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
However, I
shines a
do
light
sort
on
of
it more.
agree, specifically with like the later half in say A Study in Pink.
Yeah.
It's he is kind of just dropped up for a lot of it. It is more to build up suspense with the dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, more in the pilot really, where there is a big gap. In A
Yeah.
Study in Scarlet, there is like more cutbacks.
We see what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
trying to find them.
Which I do actually quite like that. It does help build suspense, I feel.
Yeah, I do as well. Complete nitpick, and this really is a nitpick. I really like in A Study in Pink, we seeing him open all the doors. We see that he sees Sherlock, but oh shit, he's in the wrong side of the building. And it sets it up then to have the shot. This, and again, this is a nitpick. If you get mad at me, that's fine. Why was he in the flat across from 221B Baker Street?
I have no idea.
Because I was like, oh, did John not shoot him, or was it someone else?
Yeah.
And then no, it was John. And I was genuinely like, whose flat is that?
I know.
How did he get it
I
there?
know.
Like, I get it. Yes, it's a nitpick, but I feel like that's a big detail.
Yeah, no,
You
I get
know,
what you mean.
you've got to have him set up to be perfectly in line to shoot the guy. And I don't know. That's just a bit of gap. But yeah, I do like what they do with John. I like that we start with him. I do wish maybe we stayed on him longer. But, you know, I can see what they were doing with, you know, Sherlock and the mystery and
Yeah.
the whole thing. So it's probably the best John dynamic we'll get.
Yeah, except when he's mean to Mrs. Hudson, which we can get into now.
You want to talk about... I love Mrs. Hudson. I don't
Yeah,
necessarily...
even though she's a landlady, but we forgive her.
We forgive her. She's a small business owner. She owns a shop.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I like her in the original. Her shop is has Comic Sans as the
Yes, I noticed that.
because she doesn't own a shop in the remake, does she?
I think she still owns the shop.
Does she? Because
I don't know. I thought she did.
well, maybe she still does.
Yeah, I just don't think they had her name.
I don't know. The Comic Sans just sort of transfixed me.
Honestly, I don't blame you. Yeah, it's... I love her. I love her as an actress.
Yeah.
I love how she plays the character. Don't necessarily
Yeah,
love
her
how...
and Benedict Cumberbatch apparently knew each other for ages.
Yeah, I think that's
so
nice.
that's really sweet.
How do you feel about...
Well,
Mrs.
about them
Hudson's
treating.
character?
No, it's fine.
In a weird...
It's fine.
In a weird
it's
way.
funny. They're trying to give
Yeah.
her like catchphrases. She's not the landlady. That's really funny.
I'm not your housekeeper.
Yeah.
I like that. I think there's an actually kind of nice interpretation of it where you can see it as she is immediately seen as a mother to these characters. And I know that like reducing a woman to a mother figure isn't exactly the most interesting take.
Yeah.
But more in the sense of John and Sherlock immediately feel like they can open up. Sherlock especially, more than anyone. He
Yeah,
shows such affection to Miss Hudson.
Yeah, especially when he's like how much coldness he shows
Yeah.
to everyone else.
Like he hugs her, he gives her a kiss.
Yeah. It just shows like his character's like, although he's like mean to a lot of people, he's not like incapable of showing
Yeah.
kindness and love to people.
Yeah, exactly. And even with John shouting at her, less so in the pilot, but I like that in A Study in Pink, it's a very minor change. But like he shouts like when she says "rest your leg" and he's damn my leg.
Yeah.
He in A Study in Pink, he immediately like before even a breath has passed
yeah, he just, like,
apologizes.
yeah.
And I like that, and I like that. You know, yes, he shouldn't have shouted at her, but it almost feels like again.
Why was he shouting? Why was he shouting? Damn my leg!
I think just
It sounded like-
frustration.
oh right.
Yeah, frustration.
I thought he just had like momentary like Tourette's
No,
or something.
she says rest your leg, and he's like, damn, my leg. He's probably like fed up of being treated differently because of it. And I don't know, I think you could see this as just a way of they feel safe with Mrs. Hudson.
Yeah.
You know, and when, you know, in A Study in Pink, when they come home, they have that nice moment of John and Sherlock talking, and Mrs. Hudson comes out because the police are there, and she's like concerned. And she's like, oh, Sherlock, what did you do? And like she's seems upset.
Yeah,
it's clear that like they care for her and she cares for them.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I think a lot of it is carried by the charisma between Una Stubbs and Benedict Cumberbatch. And Martin
definitely.
Freeman.
Yeah, you can like it feels like they've known each other for years.
Yes.
So having that pre-established relationship probably did really help.
Yes. There's two other female characters.
Well, Donovan.
Sally Donovan and Molly. Molly's in this episode.
Yeah. Molly's like kind of a fan favorite as well, isn't
I
she?
really like Molly.
Do you like this this whole scene with Sherlock's reveal?
Do you mean in the sense of
like the riding crop thing?
Yeah.
Like he opens up the thing.
I actually do like that introduction.
And he's like horrible to her, but like almost unseemingly.
I think that it could have worked if he was less of a dick, more oblivious. Because I think
it's kind of trying to go for that.
Yeah, I think it is. I just think that it kind of, maybe clouded by the rest of the episode, kind of crumbs across harsher. Because I like the whole, do you want a coffee? Yeah, black, 2 sugars. I can't remember which version it is, but in one of the versions he says it more coldly, whereas in another one he smiles at her.
Yeah.
And I think just that sort of difference.
I think in A Study in Pink, he was like smiling.
Yeah, I think that difference really works.
Yeah.
I think like, I think we do see positive stuff with him and Molly later, if I'm remembering rightly.
Yeah.
But I like that dynamic of Molly likes him, and he actually does like her. He's just oblivious to like any romantic things because he's not into romantic.
He's not into. He loves his work.
He's married to his work. I'm married to my work. I'm married to my work.
I'm married to my work.
I'm very flattered.
I'm very flattered.
I don't do.
We're not gay. I don't do men.
It's interesting. I thought watching this. Because obviously there's the whole discussion around queer baiting, and I do believe that
there's a lot of discussion about their relationship between them in this that I was genuinely kind of surprised about. I forgot about most of this.
I believe Sherlock definitely later on in its run queer baits.
Do you think so?
I think with more like Sherlock and Moriarty, I think.
Oh yeah, that's like a whole other.
Yeah, I think between John and Sherlock, I do not think it's queer baiting. I think Sherlock is written as a queer character, and John's not. And I think that they have genuinely, obviously John seems uncomfortable, but like otherwise genuinely quite healthy discussions about it.
I do think it's really nice how everyone just thinks they're a couple.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like Moffat, to be fair, kind of implies in the commentary that he wrote Sherlock more as asexual, which is still under the queer umbrella, and I think that is still a valid interpretation. I don't want to tell the writer that he's wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it speaks wonders that like Mrs. Hudson is like if you'll be needing 2 beds, and Angelo, I think it's Angelo, the shop owner, the restaurant owner.
I love Angelo.
Yes.
I wrote down a bunch of notes. I love the bits they have together. He was
so nice and lovely, and he's just like like that's the thing. It shows Sherlock does help people. It does have a positive thing about people.
Yeah.
And I like that his whole like.
But that's the thing. Through this entire episode, we obviously get so many different opinions of the man himself. From like say Donovan, from say like you could sort of interpret it from Lestrade, Mrs. Hudson, Molly or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
And you just sort of build like this very almost complex one through all of them.
Yes. Exactly, and I think showing, especially because like Mrs. Hudson has obviously known Sherlock a while, but showing there's just this restaurant guy that helped Sherlock out, and Sherlock helped him out, and now Sherlock's.
It was really sad when they cut out him pretending to throw him out.
Yeah.
I thought that was really
and they've
cute.
clearly done that before.
Yeah.
So, he had it, and the whole, like, everything's on the house for you and your date, like, no question about it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think, genuinely, that, like, I do kind of read Sherlock as a queer character. Not just in the sense of asexual, although that's fine, but in the sense of,
that's fine. No. I know.
It's okay to be asexual.
Yeah, it's okay to be in love with your work. No, he's not asexual. He wants to fuck crime.
Fantastic.
He gets both of them, they both get off it.
Honestly.
Literally, Donovan says. It's just
honestly, he is very sexual. Like, Sherlock is very sexual.
Yeah, like they both really get off it. Like, whenever he's just like, do you want to see some action? And he's just like, yeah.
Do you want to see a dead body?
It's, yeah. Brilliant.
Do just magnificent.
No, they do. I wrote that down, that they get off on crime. Because
Yeah,
they do. They go
they do.
absolutely ape shit around it.
Sherlock is gay, but he's gay for crime.
He is.
Yeah, so I don't think... That's a bold statement.
No, go
I
for
don't
it.
think this episode queer baits. I think Sherlock is queer.
I agree.
I think he's written as queer.
Yeah.
And
I think when people say queer baiting, they're obviously referring to
yeah,
John and Sherlock's relationship.
I think that's not queerbaiting because I think it explicitly says throughout the show. Because I can think of later episodes when Irene Adler is like, "Oh, Irene Adler's like, we're both attracted to Sherlock," and John's like, "For the last time, I am not gay."
Yeah,
and like, you know, like yes, you can have. I think it's okay to have a joke where everyone just is like, "You two are like a couple," and I think it's like
this is like a whole other discussion, more just like
yeah.
writing male friendships, because that was like a key thing that they wanted to do for the show.
Yes.
Like Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, they wanted to focus on the friendship.
Yeah,
and that is like one of the stronger things about it. I do have gripes with how John's character is sort of treated, but their dynamic together is like quite strong, and that is obviously quite rare for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So seeing any sort of like very strong male bonding, you will sort of peter on sort of.
Exactly. And the thing is, you know, I'm writing a YouTube video about this right now, this very topic. And I have been one of those people who has watched a lot of things with two strong male characters who are very close and thought they're gay. But I do think that there is a very big difference, especially in this, because in a lot of those shows, it's subtext to the point where, you know, you can interpret it. And, you know, even if there's a case of they have girlfriends or something, you can say like,
or
oh, they
wife.
could be bi or a wife.
Or a
But
wife.
that's the thing. In this show, where like they have open conversations.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm not saying someone couldn't then say, "Oh, but Sean could be like not know yet that he's queer," which is just as valid.
Could you not
However,
say it's
I
like
just
kind of
don't
played
think
for
that.
comedy though a little bit, because that scene is like supposed to be played quite awkwardly?
I think it is, but honestly,
or do you
I think
that's
the,
just like that's just kind of an honest way it would kind of go? Really?
I think that's an honest way to go, and I also think that John's the butt of the joke, not Sherlock.
For showing how uncomfortable he is, just sort of discussing these things.
More in the sense of not even just uncomfortable, but like the whole. It's kind of a fun subversion in the fact that, like, okay, people are assuming they're a couple. Obviously, like, Mrs. Hudson and Angelo even know or assume Sherlock is queer in some sort of way. Mm-hmm. And it's not like... I feel like I've seen a lot of as different versions of this where the gay character is the one who's kind of antsy and uncomfortable. And it's like, I think that the thing is, John's uncomfortable. Yes, that's kind of the joke, kind of the humor in it. But Sherlock's also not doing anything. Sherlock is on another plane. He's not even thinking about the gay stuff.
Yeah.
And not until he thinks John is making a pass at him.
Yeah.
And like, I know we've been joking about it, but I do like the whole, I don't do relationships. And John just being like, well, it'd be fine if you didn't. It's just like, you know, I'm not saying, and just be like, John, I'm married to my work.
Yeah. No, I did like that scene. That was genuinely quite surprising, considering like the reputation that this is like the queer baiting show.
And it's funny because honestly, a discussion of like between characters, one of whom is sexually ambiguous.
Yeah.
Quite, I'd still say in common.
Yeah.
Like arguably now, honestly. Yeah. Like, yes, random example, Doctor Who. It's clear that the Doctor's gay. He kisses a man on screen, but they never use the word gay.
Yeah.
Whereas at least this is like.
But do you know who else is gay in the show? John's not brother.
That's true. Harry with a Y. that's a major nitpick.
Yeah.
I was like, it's literally only because you spelt it with. I know it's stupid to say the boy way, the girl way, especially because we're Welsh. No, especially because we're Welsh and Harry in Welsh is spelt with an I.
Gender essential as much.
That felt more homophobic, just being like, well, actually, she's a woman.
My gay sister's an alcoholic who's divorced.
Yeah.
Now that's progressive. You don't get a lot of those.
Honestly, we haven't really talked about H-Bomber Guy.
Oh, wait, I was kind of saving it for like the very end of it.
I know, but there's a really relevant thing with the gay thing.
Okay.
He mentions in that, obviously we don't meet Moriarty, but I've said about the queer baiting and Moriarty being gay.
Yeah.
I might even get this out, honestly, if it doesn't add anything, but I just kind of want to mention it to you.
No, go for it.
We fucking mad respect for H-Bomb Guy. One of my favorite YouTubers. Absolutely love him. In the video, and he's like, oh, look at Moriarty being all camp and he's a queen. And like, this isn't a way to write gay characters. I love you, Harris. Let gay characters be shit.
No, I can understand you, the
mess.
There's a constant like push and pull of just like.
I know, yeah.
Is it bad represent? No, fuck that. No.
No.
Gay characters can be anything, but also it is quite common to characterize villains as gay.
It is, but I don't mind it.
This is a whole other discussion.
Yeah, queer coding, I get that. But Moriarty is gay.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, there's...
The one gripe I have is just where he took the quote of Stephen Moffat saying, like, oh, he's, like, a psychopath.
Yeah.
And then he jumped to the conclusion, like, oh, it's because he's gay. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
And I'm not saying Stephen Moffat writes queer characters well.
No.
Oh my god. Look at any of the bisexual women in Doctor Who.
No.
Like, I love River, I love Clara.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Clara's bi?
Clara's bi.
Oh.
You only know because she jokes about it sometimes, because I think that Stephen Moffat thinks bi women are a joke. And I know that sounds harsh.
Please keep this in.
I know that sounds harsh. I love River Song. She's
Yeah.
like literally one of my favorite companions. Same with Clara. I love Clara to bits. Their sexuality only ever comes up to be the butt of a joke.
Yeah.
Of like, isn't it funny? Clara's telling her class that she snogged Catherine the Great or something. I don't
Maybe it's
remember
just
who.
out of context. We have only watched really the pilot episodes. I'm sure, like maybe it is generally much more apparent if you've watched the whole season.
Yeah, and I granted, I do believe this show was big amongst teens on Tumblr. A lot of
big
whom
for
were
us,
queer
who were teens at the
on
time.
Tumblr who were queer, exactly. And I remember the fucking was it like 3-year gaps between things?
Yeah, it was huge.
It was huge gaps. The idea of clinging on that there would be some sort of gay resolution in this character, like in this show with queer characters, that's a reasonable expectation. You know how it used to upset Mummy? I would have sparked Mycroft out right there. A grown man saying Mummy. Honestly, the fact he's proper English doesn't help. If he was like, you know how it upsets Mammy. Something about Mammy feels differently than Mummy.
Yeah, no, I
Mammy
agree.
is, well, it's just Celtic versus English, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just
But yeah, I will quickly go into that bit as well. I really don't like the Minecraft. Oh, we kind of talked about that already, though. But those whole scenes like felt kind of
Yeah.
pointless, as well as like specifically the chase scene as well. I thought
Yeah.
this it just felt like more of an excuse to sort of show off the editing and like amp up the pacing.
Yeah.
You know, grab him by the fucking collar and shake him.
One of my favorite bits in the show, though, is, and I'm sorry for the only audio listeners because this is not a visual podcast, but I will describe it. When the taxi drives away from them and they're about to start the chase, Sherlock has to look at the maps in his brain, and Benedict Cumberbatch does this choice where it's like John's like, he's getting away, and he just goes, and then the map. So he flicks his hands.
Yeah,
up
then it turns
to his
to
head.
Crank.
And it does. It's so much like Crank.
Yeah, it's Crank coded.
That's arguably like the only Mind Palace scene we get.
Yeah, but
because
he doesn't. When I say the Mind Palace,
I know
isn't
it's
it?
like
he doesn't
that.
specifically refer to it as that.
I know,
which is-
shocking, because
I know.
Mind Palace is so associated. But that's the only one where you see him like locking in physically. I'm just kind of flicking through. I do have like more big general points where I'm just flicking through my nothing points.
Yeah.
Apparently Sherlock doesn't get paid.
No, he doesn't.
What does he do?
OnlyFans.
Honestly,
I do it for my career.
I do. I post on Tumblr and they pay me.
They pay me.
Because like, that line's in both the pilot and a study in Pink. It's a real straight to it. And a study in Pink.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Just have him like get paid by the police. I don't know. Because I wouldn't have even thought about it otherwise. Yeah, but he's a consulting detective. Just have like the Strad chuck him a tenner.
Here you go. Get out.
Yeah. I don't know. This is an interesting take. I forgot I wrote down.
Yeah.
Seeing as like we've kind of gone through our big points. I'm going to read this verbatim.
Okay, go for it.
I think that the MCU has damaged us about how self-referential media is, because I found myself annoyed at how the camera lingers on 221B Baker Street and the dramatic reveal of Moriarty's name. But of course it would do that because this is a Sherlock Holmes adaptation.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like in a post-MCU world...
Do you feel like everything... No, I've seen that criticism, specifically in the H-Bomber guy. No, this was my interpretation of... Moriarty as Thanos, and like and everything is connected.
Yeah,
to him.
I agree with that. And granted, this came out basically before the MCU kicked off. Like, we had Iron Man and maybe Iron Man 2.
Yeah, that was like 2008. This was
So
like 2009,
this isn't a criticism.
2010.
This isn't a criticism of Sherlock, but I do just think, and this will be relevant for when we talk about H. Bomber Guy as well. I think revisiting this media is really interesting because I do think the landscape of media has kind of shifted, not in a grand sense of everything's so different, more in the sense of because of what became popular and what we saw for genuinely like a decade of media consumption and like mainstream art,
where it's almost fetishizing like certain iconography.
It's like, you know what this is.
Yeah.
But even though I don't feel
It
like
doesn't
it is
I don't think
doing
it did it that
I don't
bad.
think it is.
But I can understand your almost gut reaction to these sort of things.
I think the only bit that really gets me is the Moriarty name reveal. It's just the way he says it as well. Like,
Moriarty!
Because Elementary does a similar thing. Granted, I have not seen Elementary since 2012.
Yeah.
But Elementary does a
I
similar
remember you really
thing.
liking Elementary.
I've been thinking about revisiting it, honestly.
Fuck, we should have done like a Sherlock week. We could have done like House MD as well.
Yeah. But I remember Elementary doing a similar thing. I remember they did a red herring where it was like, oh, you think this is going to be Moriarty, but it's not. And then Moriarty does come in. But it's not literally a character screams their name. It's more just like Sherlock hears about them or something. I don't know. I don't remember specifically.
Yeah.
But you see what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
The 221B, like focusing on that, having him be like, name's Sherlock Holmes and the address is 221B.
The game
Baker
is
Street.
on, Mrs. Hudson.
The game, Mrs. Hudson, is on.
Do 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 do. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
Basically just with the Moriarty name reveal.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So.
Should we talk about how well it did? Because it did really fucking well.
Yes, it did. Should I go into that?
Yeah. So Study in Pink was first broadcast on BBC One on 25th of July 2010. Overnight viewing figures showed that the episode was watched by a total of 7.5 million viewers on BBC One and BBC HD. Final viewing figures were up to 9.23 million.
That's very good. Especially for like a British TV show.
It had 28.5% of the UK viewing audience.
That's wild. To compare it to the other big British TV show, Doctor Who had 10.18 million. So, like, it just goes to show, like, when people think of UK, like, Sherlock is one of those.
Yeah, it's like it's the two big British properties. It's Doctor Who and it's Sherlock.
Yeah. And The King.
And The King.
And The King. He's
my
a property.
favourite series. I hope Stephen Moffat writes The King.
Oh, he should have wrote The Crown. I never watched The Crown.
Could queerbait King Charles or something. I don't know.
Make Diana a lesbian. Make her even cooler. Yeah, this did super fucking well. I mean, it got 4 series
She did go to
plus
gay
a
bars.
special.
Not to
She
go on-
did.
not to go on
She
my
was
channel.
based.
Yeah.
She was really based.
She was like big in the queer community.
Exactly. And I genuinely think, in a weird way, the large gaps between filming benefited because it built hype in the sense of
It benefited the viewership. It absolutely destroyed the structure.
Yeah, I agree.
The structure,
So
the
the
writing,
episodes-
and
Yeah.
Stephen Moffat's ego? I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird because Sherlock happens, and this is the thing. Because like,
But the thing
you
is,
can't. Sorry.
this show was extremely acclaimed. In a way, it still is.
Yeah.
Like, there's still like quite an irreverence for it. Like, looking at the letterbox reviews for specifically a Study in Pink, it's people being like, going back to this is still great.
Yeah.
Um,
People still consider the first couple of seasons to be really good. It's only really the later stuff that people still think are bad.
yeah.
And, I definitely think that this is higher quality than I imagine the rest of the show is, based on just memory. But I think that what's interesting, and H. Bomber Guy talks about this in this video as well, is you kind of can't talk about Sherlock without talking about Doctor Who because they both... Moffat ended up becoming a showrunner for Doctor Who, and that's why Mark Gatiss co-created Sherlock with him, because he didn't want to have his... It would be too much to showrun 2 shows entirely by yourself.
Yeah.
But Sherlock and Doctor Who almost have the same problem that I think does get fixed in Doctor Who, but was unable to get fixed in Sherlock because of the way the show was made. Whereas Moffat likes deifying characters. He makes the Doctor and Sherlock both like they're the smartest people in the room. They know everything that's going on. They're so clever. They're so brilliant. Everyone loves them.
To the point where everything revolves around
everything
them.
revolves around them.
They're not a character in the world. They are the world.
And because Doctor Who was releasing annually, within 3 years, that was done, and people were like, this is ridiculous. So when Matt Smith finished and Capaldi came out, they kind of basically dropped that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas with Sherlock, because, by 3 seasons of Doctor Who, 3 years had passed. They were going on to a new Doctor. They had gone through enough of the series in enough time to make that change. Sherlock, by the time, if they ever did consider that an issue,
Yeah.
I mean, you've already, you spent 3 years on, like, in between.
Yeah.
It would have been arguably too jarring to make that immediate change. And even then, the gap is so large that I just don't think that they could have... how to word this? Doctor Who releasing annually gave them the opportunity to fix things. Sherlock releasing with more gaps, you'd think they'd have lots of time to, like, listen to feedback and stuff.
Yeah.
But just with the way it was produced, I just don't think that was ever going to happen.
Well, off the back of this, like, Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, they had, like, massive careers.
They did. They were both went into, like, immediately be in The Hobbit.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're both in the MCU.
They're both in the MCU.
Doctor Strange. It's so weird to think that he's Doctor Strange.
We were talking about this.
I just don't... I know it's because he, like, plays an American and he's a bit older, but I just don't see him as the same guy.
I know, it's very weird. But obviously then it's just much more difficult. I think a lot of it was, like, shooting schedules.
It'd be interesting to know what it would have been like maybe if they had cast, say, Matt Smith as Sherlock and some unknown as Watson, because Matt Smith was unknown at the time. Mm-hmm. If they had cast 2 unknowns, would this have been an annual series?
Yeah.
And would that have been better or worse for it?
Yeah.
Because
much to think about. Who knows?
Who knows? A different timeline. Different timeline. That's not what happened in this. But yeah, it went on to have 4 seasons and ending on such a bad note that people genuinely thought it was bad on purpose.
Yeah.
Did you ever believe that? I didn't.
No, I just thought it was horseshit.
Yeah. I'm never going to think something is bad on purpose.
No.
Like, if it's bad on purpose, it's at least funny. That was one thing that surprised me. I thought a lot of this episode was really funny.
Yeah, me too. I went into it kind of cynically, I gotta be honest. I was thinking, like, what if I just find it all cringe? But there were some genuine jokes where I was just like... like giggling to myself. And
it got me, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, it's just like they're like Benedict Cumberbatch's and Martin Freeman's chemistry in this is really good.
It is, and like it's one of those things where when they laugh, I'm like laughing as well.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
What's your opinion on the Sherlock being on drugs aspect of this?
Oh, right. And that instead of being on heroin, he has nicotine patches.
Yeah, in a sense, but more in the way of, like, in the original books, he does cocaine. Mm-hmm. And in this, they kind of didn't want to delve too much on the drugs aspect.
Yeah.
So, and do you think it's better off for that? Kind of avoiding, alluding to it rather than...
I think it makes it easier to market it for families.
Yeah, can you imagine if they were, like, explicitly like...
I think it could have been a really interesting characterization in that... But I can understand why they wouldn't have done that, because I think it was like... I'm not an expert, but cocaine wasn't like... That was like quite normalized back then, wasn't it?
It was in Coke.
Yeah, so it would have been quite a normal thing. Whereas like it takes on a completely different connotation these days. So I think using a different like allegorical drug kind of makes sense. It's kind of lame, but like, you know, I had that sweet scene with Lestrade where he pulled out his arm and they both have nicotine patches.
And there's like cute. Yeah, that was cute, and I do like in the pilot that they use it where the cabbie tries to drug him and he's like, oh, you got more of a resistance to it.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That was practical. I was just trying to see if CBS, because in CBS he also was a recovering drug addict. I don't think you can really do Sherlock with... I feel, well, you can do Sherlock without acknowledging it at all, but I feel like some people like don't want to because it is such a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they explicitly say what drugs in that either. I might be wrong. I'm just going off, frankly, the Wikipedia and IMDb intro sentences and Google AI, which is horrible. So I don't trust that. But yeah, I like I like how they use it.
Yeah.
And it's clear from the commentary that they didn't want to focus too much on that.
Yeah, sounded like more like they didn't want to glamorize it or anything.
And I think that's fair, especially because with how they're writing Sherlock,
you don't want to be like making him look cool. Imagine him doing lines and then be like, "Come on, John!
I've worked it out. Your brother John, alcoholic. The name. This phone's expensive. It's got an MP3 player."
Imagine he was saying all that, sniffling 2 times a second. You'd be like, "Oh wow."
Oh yeah, that was the line I was going to say earlier. Not him fucking up every child thinking that, fuck, I'm an alcoholic because I scratched my phone a little bit. Now, the bit I like when it's like, this phone's clearly expensive, it's got a built-in MP3 player.
Yeah, I know. I did write that down as well. That is
Yeah.
very cool. It'll be wild when we watch like a modern show where they have like, because everything we watch is like either during 2010 or like pre.
Yeah, like we're very 2000s core at the minute.
Yeah, but we'll transcend.
I'm so excited for you to see Buffy next week.
Ah, yeah,
All
baby.
phones, but that's next week.
That is next week.
Is there any more thoughts on the episode before we talk about our favorite YouTuber?
No. Let's talk about the video.
Yeah.
So this video, I feel, is to call it anything less than character assassination.
I don't think you can talk about Sherlock without talking about Sherlock is garbage, and here's why. I think that not only changed the landscape of opinions on Sherlock, I frankly think that kind of changed the landscape of YouTube as a whole.
It is an incredibly influenced. It's very well written.
Yeah.
A lot of time, but it's interesting going back because it's like there's not everything I agree with.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, there is a ton I agree with. Obviously, he has an incredible reverence for the way Sherlock is structured and written that the modern interpretation doesn't like live up to.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I don't even remember the other things. You go ahead.
This is a rant. I just looked at my first thing on the note. The fact that whole like saying Benedict Cumberbatch's name wrong.
It was old back then.
It was old 8 years ago.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't hear it as much.
I do disagree on a lot of aspects. I mean, I'm a Moffat apologist. I do not think he is the worst showrunner in the world.
Yeah.
I do agree with a lot of the things of he deifies characters. He makes characters like the Doctor and Sherlock too much about themselves, like shows that are kind of like, yeah, they're the main character, but they're not the main character.
Yeah.
Really, Sherlock should be through Watson's eyes, Doctor Who should be through the companion's eyes. I agree with that. I did literally say we should let psychopaths be gay. I think that what was interesting is H. Bomber Guy talking about the style.
Yeah.
And we already said about how we like the text, and he says about like how the style, like with the sound effects and stuff, gets too much. And I do think from the clips he showed later on, it gets too much.
Yeah.
It's borderline like TikTok brain rot levels of editing.
Yeah.
But I like the whole like when we see that the name Rachel has been scratched into the floor, they play a little sound effect. I actually think that's very effective.
I don't think he was specifically criticized. I think it's when later on when they use a sound effect.
Oh, ridiculous! Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah,
but I could agree. I think there's like a lot to admire with the production of it.
Yeah.
It does go to ridiculous extremes later on, which I do agree with the criticisms on. But it feels as though most of the criticisms that he was giving was in the later episodes. And obviously, we're not watching those.
Yeah. I was really excited to go back to this, but I wanted to wait until I was pretty concrete on my episode opinions.
Yeah.
Because the main thing I was thinking is, and this could be a very big discussion, it could be a very small discussion. I wanted to kind of talk about how we think about media as a whole, where we're living in this age of a lot of our things that we're consuming are YouTube, and I feel like YouTube has gone through a cycle of videos about this thing is bad and here's why, and now it's kind of looped back around to
this thing is good actually.
This thing's good actually, and it's
is
the
that
whole
what
media
we're doing?
cycle.
Are we making this thing is this thing is fine actually?
Yeah, that's another thing because I want to talk about, and this is I don't want to say
even though H. Bomber Guy made
something is fine. Yeah. I think that's the thing. I don't want to blame H. Bomber Guy and say like, oh, Sherlock is actually not that bad. Like, I think season 4 of Sherlock is awful. I'm not saying, but it's a whole interesting thing of like afraid to have almost both kind of. There's 2 points. I know I'm kind of rambling.
No, go for it.
The first point. The whole opinion of, and I feel very strongly about this. Oh, the most recent one has been bad, so they're all bad.
Yeah.
Sherlock season 4 sucked, so all of Sherlock sucked.
No, this is really common with like a ton of TV shows. The biggest one. This happened with Lost.
It happened with Lost. Yeah.
It happened with Game of Thrones.
Happened with Game of Thrones. Happened with Doctor Who really recently.
Yeah. I can understand when you become like extremely connected to a show and then an ending disappoints you, you retroactively feel like you've wasted your time.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
However, I don't think that diminishes the quality of early episodes. It can feel that way, however.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like the most recent season of Doctor Who, for example, I really don't like a lot of things in the finale. However, I think that the individual episodes, some of the strongest we've had in years. Mm-hmm. So I actually got very defensive, which I don't feel like I often get too much.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get defensive about something, it's probably going to be Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I found myself getting defensive when people line, like people on my Discord servers and stuff are saying, oh, this season's been shit. And it's like, no, the season's not been shit. You just don't like the last episode.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing of like, no, this whole show hasn't secretly been bad this whole time.
Yeah.
But also, I want to flip that and say, sometimes when you see the worst of something, it does make you kind of critically analyze the past more.
That can be a good thing.
And
I think
that's okay.
This, I do think the video is like great overall, just because it does like it introduces like a new kind of criticism to it.
Yes, and I definitely think that H1 Guy's video is a really good example of the second point, where I was going to say about how the whole having an opinion on something,
like
and then
analyzing the
watching-
formalist elements of it.
Yeah.
Like that is a good thing.
Yeah. The sort of derivative point of that is more just like, I didn't like season 4 of Sherlock, so I'm not saying like at the time I disagreed with H1 Guy, watched his video, then changed my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do think that because of the YouTube cycle of thing bad, thing good actually, thing okay, I personally feel like I'm sometimes afraid of having the wrong opinion based on what's said online.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it's better to keep in mind that you can like something at a certain point in time and then change your mind. That is fine.
Yeah, and I think we're kind of moving past this era of objectivity, of like, this thing's objectively bad. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
think we're giving past to that now.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, it was happy to revisit.
It was an
the
interesting
video.
experience. I had a really good time.
Because I get kind of apprehensive as well revisiting old videos of creators I like.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a really well-made video. I think that videos not ripping off the style, inspired by the style.
No, ripping off. Just say it off.
Rip it off the
Rip
style.
it off. It's fine.
It was really interesting revisiting, and it made me gain an appreciation of my own opinions and the opinions of others and the quality of the show in general. Sick.
Yeah.
Also, it made me think about how with Bring Her Back, this might not stay in, but just the whole thing of Bring Her Back, where I was like, I thought it was okay, and then you hated it, and I felt safe.
I came out screaming.
You did, and I felt safe enough then to be like, granted, I don't hate it as much as you.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of mid.
No, I
but
can understand
it's
what
the
you
whole
mean.
thing of having something. That's the flip, where something was really popular online.
Yeah.
And lots of YouTubers were like, this thing is the best thing I've seen all year.
Yeah.
And we were like, didn't like it.
Have you ever
But-
considered it's just fun to shit on things sometimes?
Honestly. And I've considered that, Sherlock is garbage and here's why. It's an opinion. These things are opinions.
It's an opinion. It's all just opinion. This is just our opinion.
This is our opinion. If you fucking hate Sherlock, and here's why. If you hate Sherlock, that's fine. If you hate any of the shows we watch, that's the interesting thing about these things and like podcasting in general. And, opinions can change over time. Maybe in 10 years we'll rewatch this Sherlock.
Could you
and think
imagine
it's shit
for an
then.
anniversary we'll rewatch Glee and be like,
Well, that's what I talked about in Glee, wasn't it? I said, like, I've watched that pilot so many times, and some watchings I've hated it, and some watchings I've loved it.
yeah,
So, opinions change,
they do.
and that's okay.
And that's good.
And
Shows you're changing.
that's beautiful.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have do you have any other thoughts? Because
Yeah, I'm really hungry.
you're really hungry. Oh, one last thing. I really liked that in the behind the scenes things, first of all.
Oh yeah, you're going to
they
mention all the
mentioned-
locations. First of all, shout out BBC Wales.
Yeah, BBC Wales, they film literally 5 minutes from our house, and it's
I
so
know,
fun just to be like, we know there.
I like you said once that Wales was like the Canada of
Yeah, Canada of
the US.
yeah,
The Canada of England.
England, yeah.
Just because like oftentimes they would film here and it's just to like it's pretend London or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this architecture
'Cause
is
it's much
really
cheaper.
London. It is much cheaper.
But we do get extremely excited. Like the beginning scene in the morgue that was shot in
Yes.
Merthyr Tydfil.
I know, Merthyr
Crazy.
Tydfil. That's from up north, slightly further north from us, the valleys.
Yeah.
I like that when
And by the way, we live in.
Beep.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Anyway, that'd be very funny. That'd be very funny. Except now I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah.
It's going to loop around. Is this funny anymore? Is this just annoying? Who knows? I also really like that when they're talking about the pilot specifically, they say, I just like this quote, a pilot is changeable. A test flight, I just like that.
Yo,
I was like,
it's
"Oh,
all encompassing.
We should have called this podcast Test Flight.
We should have called it
Actually,
Sherlock.
no, First Time Flight is good, man.
We should have called it BBC Sherlock.
BBC's Sherlock, the podcast. We should do a Sherlock rewatch podcast, which will last 10 episodes, because there's only 10 episodes of Sherlock.
That's all you need.
Honestly, yeah. I like the music. I like this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Which-
I do really like the music of
Yeah.
it. I think the music in the pilot is quite bad. Because it's
Yeah.
on synth.
Well,
I think the orchestra really benefited.
the orchestra
to it.
benefits, and it was also composed by David Arnold and Michael Price. And
they
I just
did a
like
very good job.
giving them a shout out.
Excuse me, they did a really good job.
Another note we didn't mention, but kind of offhand. The director, Paul McGugan, came up with the idea of putting the text messages on screen instead of shooting away.
Yeah, that's like a really big thing from the show.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah, that looks great.
Like-
It's timeless.
It's way better than showing a screen.
Yeah.
I hate when
Even
things
though they
cut to
do
a
that
screen.
sometimes in
They
the
do,
episode.
but I like the aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I think the way they do it visually is quite cool. Yeah, I would have greenlit this.
Based on the pilot?
That's interesting. Based on the pilot, yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
I would have either way.
Were you the guy at the BBC that was just like longer,
To be fair, I did say like, how did John get here? So in a way, I was like, this needs to be explained.
How did John get there?
How did John get there?
There should be a chase scene.
You need to mention Moriarty.
Put in
Moriarty.
Moriarty.
You do the tay perfectly.
Moriarty. I know, because oh god,
He's so good.
yeah.
They shouldn't have made him do that.
No, that was embarrassing.
Yeah. It's not chance.
It's not
chess. I do love the way he says that.
It's like snotting.
chess.
It's like scrunching his face. It's chess.
I like the reveal with the gun, where the gun is a lighter.
I thought that was lame.
I thought it was funny.
Like, yeah,
I think the problem is, if it was shown, I don't know whether they meant for it to be funny or if they meant to be like, oh, Sherlock's so clever.
did really no one notice it? Did this like 4 people?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of like because he didn't have a gun in the pilot.
No.
So I think it's
No, 'cause
more
he
of
just
a, people are going to say, how does he make them do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I'll give him a gun. That's another thing. A lot of guns in this episode, even though we're in the UK. I know that we have guns, it's just kind of unusual.
Well, John's a soldier, so he
I know,
obviously stuck it up
they
his
get-
bum.
they get to keep the
he
guns.
came from Afghanistan.
Soldiers get to keep their guns?
Yeah, souvenir. No, I don't think so.
That's fair. I was a fictional show.
I mean, it looks like he's living in a homeless shelter.
He genuinely might be.
Maybe can't afford it on a veteran's pension.
Veteran's pension, yeah. But apparently he's supporting him and Sherlock in 221B Baker Street. To be fair, they did say Mr. Sutton gave him a good deal on the rent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
legend.
We promise she's not a parasite. She might be our landlady, but she's not a parasite.
No, I think she lives there. She lives there with them.
She lives there. Yeah. She lives there in the downstairs flat, doesn't she?
They're just living together and having a
Just
nice time.
they're roomies.
They're roomies.
Yeah. What a good show.
What a pretty good show.
What a pretty good show. I'm really happy we revisited it. And
Yeah.
Super Hulock's done. We didn't really go into Super Hulock that much. It's basically just, if you don't know, Tumblr. We probably mentioned it in either Doctor
No,
Who
we
or
talked about it
Supernatural,
in the Supernatural episode.
Exactly. It's just Tumblr pinning these 3 sexy white boy groups together, and
2 of which were directed by.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I remember
ran by
Moffat. I remember saying that that Supernatural is really the odd one out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just kind of like what was popular on Tumblr at the time.
Since we've gone through it, rank 'em.
Oh, it's hard, but it's got to be Rose on top.
Yeah.
It's really hard though to choose whether I think Sherlock or Supernatural's episodes is better. I'm more nostalgic for Sherlock.
Yeah.
I think that, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
if you put on a show for me like today, I'd never seen either of them before, and you were like, which one do you want to keep watching? Mm-hmm. I probably would choose Sherlock, just because it's bias of like, this is a well-known character. Also, it's 10 episodes. I know they like movies. 10 episodes versus like 250.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of the episode's quality themselves, I think Super Hulock all had a really good start.
And good pilots.
Yeah,
All right.
good pilots.
Good times.
Next week, we're watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire.
The pilot and the first episode, Welcome to
Not
Hellmouth.
the movie.
Not the movie. We'll talk about the movie in theory, but we're not watching the movie. That's
Unless
not
I
what
want
this
to.
show is.
What? Would that
We
piss
have
you off?
we have very clear rules on what this show is.
I can watch whatever the fuck I want.
Fine, watch the movie.
All right.
You would like, do we have to watch the movie? If we might watch the movie.
That was the question.
You at home don't have to watch the movie.
You don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything. You're not here for the episode.
You don't have to watch Sherlock. You don't have to watch HBO. You don't have to listen to this podcast.
Honestly, but if you want to watch along, we're going to be watching the original pilot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the first episode, which is called Welcome to the Hellmouth, and possibly the movie. It is on Disney Plus, so it is
I'm not
readily
gonna
accessible.
watch the movie. I'm busy.
Maybe I'll watch the movie. I'm less busy than you.
Coming, Mum.
Coming, Mum.
Coming, Mum.